Hi, everyone. It's Monday, and that means it's Magnificently Made Monday. And we've been introducing you to our fellow authors in the anthology Magnificently Made. I cannot get the sign to like sit the way I wanted this week. I don't know what I had it or how I propped the computer last
We
week.
go like this.
So welcome everybody. Like if you've watched Vented Uplift, if you know my company, then you know our good friend Denise Cesare. She is the author of this beautiful children's book, Moments in Motion with Love. She is also the inventor of T-Suit. She's like out there doing stuff. She's moving, she's retired, but she hasn't slowed down. So we're going to talk about her chapter, Let It Be, and its inspiration and the story behind it. And I'm going to let her talk. So, Denise, just tell everybody a little bit about you.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. The first thing I want to say is I want to say how magnificent Chrissy Canny is to do all these things for 33 women. And it's I know it's not easy. So thank you. I'm so grateful because it is sharing our stories together. And I'm happy about that. And I'm grateful for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm grateful for you too.
So I'm
I,
happy to be here. So where do you, what do you,
I love like every woman like in this book. I just
it's just like vented, uplifted, like it's all like the words kind of are woven into the hearts. So it is amazing.
so so tell us about who Denise is.
So you just gave me a great introduction. I am Denise Cesare. Speech language pathologist was my career. I'm always a speech language pathologist, but I moved on. I graduated to other things, author, and well, I am an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur with the T-suit while I was working, but I need, you can't do everything. The solopreneurship.
Really, you can't because really
We were
okay.
just talking about that, right? How many hours in a day?
Keep we're like
How
that.
many days in a week? So that's where that came from. So being, I'm going to say I'm reinventing myself. I'm not retired. So you want to know a little bit about Let It Be. So just take that for a minute. The words Let It Be. So I don't. Chrissy just showed the book Moments of Motion with Love, and a lot of that it could all go back to that because my tagline for my swimwear accessory company has Moments of Motion with Love. It was always about that because love of self, love of each other, and love of the planet was where it all started. Um, but prior to writing Moments in Motion with Love, I was I met with Jen Tuma Young, the
Who's
fabulous
on watching?
publisher, the Wonder Woman of all of us together. Um, what happened was I was supposed to write a book, a prescriptive narrative for adults, for women, similar to not similar to an anthology, but the feeling of healing and love and light. But you know what happened? Moments of Motion came to me, and that had to go first. So Let It Be, I would say, is a little vignette, if you want to call it, little stories of that should have been part of my story that will come eventually next. But I want to tell you a little bit about Let It Be.
Your future book. This is a little teaser.
Yeah, so this is the teaser. But what's different about this is that like moments, it's poetry emotion, moments emotion with love. It's almost flowing. It kind of takes you on a journey. So that's how my life has been. So we'll talk about the word let it be in a moment, but it is a chapter dedicated to everyone who needs to heal, and that's all of us, right? We all have. No one knows your story. No one knows what you've gone through unless you're sharing it. But we all need to heal from something.
Denise, even I think that even though like we're all shares, but I don't think we all share 100%.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah, that we all need that.
yeah. So that it is dedicated to all of us that need to heal. But the 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 infusion of music in my life, and you're going to of course appreciate this. You have a musician husband,
Yes, I
um,
did.
and I love music. I want to thank all the songwriters, musicians who have saved my life. because that's what I'm going to tell you about this. And I get emotional because throughout the stories, one of them, of course, is when my father passed away. Different stories have lifted me out of the darkness and towards the light. And music is not just about getting out of the darkness into the light, it's also about dancing and being excited. Or I could think about when we were younger, you remember being in your room singing into your hairbrush, just the feeling of it going through your body, the music. So I'm going to read you a quote. I don't want to mess up the guy's name. He's a violinist and conductor from like 1916. His name is 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲𝗄. Okay, if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But anyway, I tried my best to say it exact. But music is therapy.
I wouldn't know. So, okay.
But yeah, but whoever out there, I think I said it as close as I could because I'm a speech pathologist, so I have to say things. I kind of perseverated on it, how to say his name. So music is a therapy. It is a communication far more powerful than words, far, far more immediate and far more efficient. And for me, it was my therapy. It did save me. It did. So these little vignettes. So Let It Be is a song, right? It's a title of a song, Let It Be. So as you go through my each little story, each one has a song or two that have significant meaning to that time in my life.
All right. So I mean, I love that. So your chapter is all little stories within a chapter.
Yes, and how the power of music heals. And I even thought about it just recently. As a speech pathologist, I used to use music to help the students as well. And I didn't really make that correlation until I really started writing this, that, they didn't realize, it was intonation. Children that stutter, I was able to get them to come out of the stuttering by using music. So music, it's my story with music as really the foundation that weave us together and heal us together.
Beautiful. So, and you wrote it for anybody that's healing. And, let's talk about, like, I know you very well. So let's share like one of your stories that you've been through. And, I mean, I know there was a time where you couldn't
speak. Mm-hmm. So there is one of those stories in there, and I will talk about that story because that was a very dark time in my life, but also there was a light around me too because my son, I lost my voice when he was 6 years old. Thank goodness I didn't lose it before because that's foundational learning and things like that. So he knew my voice no matter what, if I had a voice or not. But during that time, one of those that story is how I don't know if I want to give away those songs so much because I have a playlist that's in the chapter for everyone to get it, get into the music and try to have it fill your soul as well. But I did go through a time of losing my voice and was not only bullied, just not treated right, harassment. And at times I would go home in my car and cry, but the tears led to one day me pulling over and hearing a song. I'm not going to tell you the song, you'll have to read the chapter. And I just listened to it. And then that was my anthem every day home if I was driving by myself from work. And I said, thank you for making me a fighter. So I guess if you know the song, you'll know.
So I think that's, very powerful to say that, like, when you felt down and bullied, when you couldn't speak and defend yourself at work, when you were feeling, not treated so kindly, that words, those songs gave you strength.
They gave me power. They gave me words. I mean, it gave me words to get me out of that, even if I couldn't sing, it gave me words.
Right. So would you recommend for somebody who's going through something to like just go to music?
I would, I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that there's not a place for going and getting help, but this is a little tip that I'm going to tell you. It can bring you out of something. It can take even just the beat of music. It kind of does something to the body, like dancing, but not even that. Just the fundamental. Even if you're listening to like meditation, it doesn't even have to be words. For me, it was the words because the power that I needed. But it could even be meditation that you're just feeling it through your body to lift you out of that heavy feeling. That's what I'm saying. Music lifts you out of it. And there are times that music will make you cry and bring out the emotions that some people don't cry, right? Some people have trouble tapping into their emotions. So this might help them if they take a minute. So I am very in tune with music. Some people aren't, but if they take a minute to really listen and really listen to the words or really feel the beat, like being in the moment. And let's talk about being in the moment. Take a music moment and put your feet on the ground and feel the beat or feel it in your body and just take it. So I think that could help someone who's feeling hurt or to be healed or discouraged or they think they can't go on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do.
And then you're not alone while you're singing it, right?
Exactly. And the songwriter had either you can't just write those lyrics without not having had some experience of that just doesn't come out of nowhere. They do have imaginations, I know, but that has to come from somewhere.
Right. I was talking to one of our breast cancer models, our Pinkette, on Friday night. I interviewed her Friday, and she discussed how when she's after her double mastectomy, that she would just or she needs a timeout. She just puts her earpods in and she dances around the kitchen. Right. She's saying music moments.
Yes.
And I think, let's go back. Yeah. You need a playlist on Spotify, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we need a magnificently made playlist.
Well, there is a playlist in the book. Like you have a QR code in my chapter to go to my playlist.
Oh, you do?
I do.
That's awesome.
I do.
That's great.
Yes, I do have that, honey. Yes.
Yeah.
And a couple of extras. So so there's 5 stories. So whatever stories are there's a little bit extra music that I love. That's Denise loves.
Oh, all right. That's a little key thing. So your QR code then doesn't go to the website; it goes to
Spotify. It goes to Spotify.
Oh, very smart. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you're smart. You were trying to tell me to do that already. You're already on it.
Okay, I did. Yeah, I did not think about doing that.
No, but you were already thinking. Yes.
Hey, you know how our brains work as entrepreneurs. It's nonstop.
Always going.
So we're going to talk about you're the first. With this, I've asked everybody, so far, how'd you feel? You're already an author, so you're at the next level, right? Mm-hmm. And when you saw this come up, the anthology, I was the last person to sign up because I'm a chicken. Why? What happened that you jumped and you were first?
Well, I was the first one. Jen will tell you I was the first. Without me, she wasn't doing this. But why was I first? Because I don't always say yes to everything. I'm not always first for everything, right? You can say yes to everything, but I do say yes to love and light and to those who lift the world up. That I do say yes to. And the minute I saw that, I thought it was an opportunity, like you said, it's a little snippet to my book that was coming out. And then I said, well, here we go. And who better than Jen Toomer Young, the magnificently made warrior, bring us all together. So yes, I said yes first because I know the love and light in her heart. And then I said yes to you right away. As soon as you put this up, I wasn't first to be interviewed, but I was first to put my calendar in.
You're the first one that after I figured out how to put Calendly up.
I don't know. Right away, I knew, and I don't delay. What is the point of waiting if you know something is right? You just follow. I learned something. We're always learning, and that's what Let It Be is about. Because you can't change things. So sometimes you just have to let something be, and that's really at the end of the chapter what we come to. How do you let things be? Because healing is about letting things be, believing in it's going to work out. And so, people say let it go, but it's not about letting it go, it's about letting it be. And letting it be is something that is healing, because we're human and we don't always do everything, and we don't trust our instincts. So I've come to a new awakening, I'm going to say, where I trust what that inner voice says more than ever. So that's why I said yes and yes.
Okay, so what would you recommend for a chicken like me that is like really like, sometimes I feel like God's like smacking me across the face? Like,
okay, so when you feel the smack, don't say no, say yes. Yes, Chrissy Canny, you can. You have can in your name. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what are you looking most forward to with this book and doing, and what do you envision us all being and doing when this book comes out in 33 days?
I can't believe that, right? That's amazing. Well, 3 is my number, 33, but I'm digressing on that because 2 3s make a butterfly. We feel about butterflies, right?
The one that's on your head that every now and again it looks so cute because it looks like you have like a little bow.
Like a little antler. So funny. First I'm looking forward to reading and really taking in all of our chapters, because we didn't read any of our chapters, right? We all have a little snippet that we know about, but I would like to read everyone's chapter and take everyone in and feel the love and or who they are, revealing some of themselves to us. And then what was your other question?
What do you think that where this book will go and what we can do with it?
Well, I think this book is everything. I think this book is a piece of 33 hearts that can heal the world, kind of like how I said with the music. And I think that it will definitely move places. For me, we all independently have our core people we would like to have the book that we as our audience, but as a collective whole, it could be so much more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really like I can like close my eyes and see like a few of us on a panel on a like a TV show. Like I think it's really going to be like such a wonderful gift for people. Because there's a story for every woman to relate to in all these chapters. And if it's not something that you're going through currently, it might be something that happened in the past, or it might be something that in the future that as you read it, you'll be like, let me go back to that book and read it. So tell me that, like, let's go back to Moments of Motion and how you're a speech pathologist, all these years for children.
Yeah.
And because, I really love your book.
I know you do. You were one of the first people to say yes, to buy it. So
yes. And, you talk about like, so with other authors, and there'll be other authors listening, that it was like a divine download.
It was, and that's not typical. That it is what has happened, but that's not always the way it happens. But listening to your gut feelings, like I just said, during COVID, I was virtually online with my students, and it was very heavy. And I did go to sleep and pray to help them. I didn't know what that meant, but I woke up with the book. I did. I really woke up with the book, and I believe that there was a reason to download it. I was chosen. That's why this book feels so important to me, to get the message out there. But listening to that, I wrote it down. I could have woke up and said, "Oh, okay, you wrote a book." I listened to my inner voice, and I wrote it down as soon as I woke up. Well, actually, I went to my husband. Wake up! I wrote a book. You are. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Please listen." Please
Like
listen
until
to
the
me.
night?
Please, no, actually, like 5 o'clock in the morning.
My husband would have been just rolled over and ignored me. He'd be like,
Well, I'm relentless, so I was like, "Wake up! Oh my God, wake up! Oh my God, you gotta listen." But the real thing that happened, he listened to me, but he was groggy. But I knew it was something, and I texted Jen and I said, "Please listen to this. I have to switch gears." And then as soon as she heard it, we were crying, and she said yes. And then the real thing that solidified this for me is my son. He was like, COVID at college. I call it college COVID, whatever. He listened to me read these little thing that I jotted down on paper, and he cried. Whatever I had tapped into made me know that this needed to be in the world, and that's how that happened. But there's a like talking about this is important because I trusted that. I did go with it because I could have just went back to bed, right? We wake up, we dream all the time. We have things happening all the time. But I woke up and I was like, what? Uh, And I don't do that. It's not, a lot of people have pen and paper by their table, bedside table. Not Denise. I had to actually go. Oh, I think I got my phone. I started typing it into it.
okay, so do you now have pen and paper on the side of your bed?
Yes, I do. Because I was like, oh, what's coming in my, what's popping up, really? And matter of, this sounds so not true, but it is so true. Because I did text Jen that morning as soon as I woke up, not 5 o'clock, but within the time frame. And I was like, how could this be? All this stuff coming to me out of nowhere. So, it was something. And even if you ask, it was the quickest edit of a book ever. We didn't change really anything.
That's really beautiful. So what would you say, why did you write Moments in Motion with Love?
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, it came to me. I was chosen to.
But
I
why
was,
did you say, okay, God, okay, your students like, but
yeah. Well, I wrote this book too, because the heaviness that it held in the world at that time, the heaviness that was going on, but healing. Even like I just told you, I wrote this chapter about this book heals. This book brings you um, comfort. It also makes you stop and be present because we only have now. Even it's hard for me sometimes. I have to stop and say, listen to what you talk about. Be in the moment. Really take it in and have love for yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't continue to share love with the world. You have to love yourself. You have to love others. And also, our planet is in distress. So, it's a lot about healing.
do you find as a speech pathologist that the students that you were teaching were getting bullied?
Oh my goodness. Wow. First of all, I'm going to say not only do they get bullied, but I was getting bullied, but I also have a disability. So my interconnection with them got even up a level when I did get because I have a disability. So it changed the dynamics of how we related to each other, which was even more special and powerful. But yes, they do get bullied, and bullying is a big thing. People. I don't want to talk about the news, but there's a lot of heavy world news and local news, and it's not going to get better. And I'm going to cry now because it just tapped me. But we need to do something. It's out of control, and I believe we need more mental health initiatives, and we need to start helping people love themselves because that's where bullies come from. They really bully because either they were bullied or they have a lack of love of themselves. I don't want to get too much on it, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. No, yeah. When my children would be, they both had like some both had a time where they both had one person that bullied them like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And, my thought was always like, okay, like,
what do we do?
No, it was more like I always try to teach them, like, what is that kid what's going on?
Oh, you mean the flip side of it? Yes. And
like,
I agree.
Always from the beginning, like, like they must not like
they must not be happy, right? What is at them? But
abusing them, somebody's hitting them, something something's
exactly.
going on. So let's
Something's not right. Yeah,
um,
exactly. They're not like that for no reason. But if you think about this, not just children, but adults get bullied as well. I just told you back then. Um, and why? You say to yourself, why? So how did I get myself out of that? I would like you said, what did I do as an adult? What do you do as an adult? Do you confront? Do you wonder? What do you do? But I think it's all about self-healing, like you just said, kind of coming to a understanding like this person must be so much more hurt than me to be doing something like that. Exactly. But then there's got to be a way to help those that are hurt. So sometimes, like for me, I have to be thankful that I was able to rise above. I found tools. I found the tools myself to rise above. I don't know. Not everybody's capable. They're capable, but they're not sure how to rise above it. But there's always light. If there's dark, you got to find the light. You got to, even if it's this big, you got to find the light. That's the way you get through it.
So what would you recommend for parents, besides reading your book, of course, to your children? Like, what would you recommend? What would you say to them?
You mean about my book or about just
Well,
in
like
general?
how, if their
Oh,
kids being bullied or they have a disability with
right.
speech.
So I would say, first of all, you have to, you have to have conversations. Communication is key. If you're not communicating with your children, there's a lot of this world with all the devices and people aren't communicating, and that's making it worse. Some parents will go and say when things happen that they didn't even know their child was being bullied. So I would say first key is to communication, really finding out what's going on. Like you just said, you knew something was off or happening with one or two children. You have to be in tune, and you do have to, even parents are going through something, but the children need our help. So you have to communicate with them. How are they feeling? Talk about feelings. They may not want to talk about it, but if you put on a song, out of that song make you feel, maybe we use music to get the communication going.
I think I see another children's book in your future.
Yeah, huh? You're so cute. I do. I have a lot of ideas. Yes.
All right. So when is this next when is the whole Let It Be book coming out?
Oh, the whole Let It Be. Well,
What are you thinking?
It took a lot to do this. Let It Be. I may have been the first.
Were you the first one to sign up and the last one in?
Possibility. We'll have to ask the publisher and editors if I was the last. I don't know that for sure, but I was pretty close to the last. I was first, but pretty close to the last. Because to tell 5 stories of your life and kind of hone in on one specific, it was hard to put all that into. Yeah, it was a lot, but
So 5 stories have one thing that
the theme. So the one theme of work, that whole fighter, being a fighter. So there's 5 of them. One of my father passing, one of my mother passing, one good with my son's birth, getting married, but they're all interwoven with music and how it lifted me up.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to keep to the words. Like, hey, Jen maybe cut a lot of words.
Yeah.
So, because I'm like, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And she's like, I'm like, you told me to write detail, Jen. And she's like, well, too much detail, Chrissy.
And she wanted more detail from me because, when you are healing certain things, you may not want to reveal them. So I was hiding. So when you're a writer, sometimes you hide behind you. I had to let it out.
You had to let it be.
I had to let it be. I can't sing, otherwise I would break out into a song, but you'll scare the whole
audience. But I think that the next writing the book is going to be much easier because you have more words to put into it. So come on, let's put a date out there. Come on.
For what, the adult book or my children's book or both?
Okay, no, the adult book.
Oh, the adult. Oh, you're pushing me. Okay, next year. This time next year.
All right. And how about your children's book? When's the
next? The children's book is going to be so cute because it's how music heals. So I don't know what the title is yet, but the children and music and the heartbeat. When there's a part of that, the heartbeat. Heartbeat moments when you're in the womb. Heartbeat Moments. I think I just gave my title up.
Okay.
All right, but it's in the universe. No one can use it now. Hi.
I love that. And what a beautiful gift to give to somebody who's expecting.
Heartbeat Moments. Everybody write that down because I just said that. So don't even think you can take it. Heartbeat Moments.
Okay. You know what it reminded me of when I was little? Because I used to love my little record player when I was young. And do they make like the little things?
Remember those little? Yes, I know.
Players are back. Like, so remember, like in the back, that's
yes,
where
they had the yes, you could rip it out and play it. Yes. You know what I want to tell you, because you're so cute, because what I want people to know about music too, when you listen to a song when you were 7, it brings you back to when you're 7. Think about that. I mean, there might be great things that happened when you were 7, maybe there weren't, but if you go back there, then you could kind of feel it, and if it wasn't so good, you could deal with it, or you could feel great about it. So I think, I think about the inner child. That's really what music does. It taps into your inner child. Look at all this stuff with, Taylor Swift, her being with Kelsey. It's like a whole big thing of music, football. It's all, woo!
It's crazy. These kids like love her. I mean,
but she taps into their heartstrings but not just kids. There's mothers there too, and their fathers. I mean, they're all getting into it because she kind of taps into love on all, and she's not been, she's had hurt here and there and everywhere. That's how she writes these unbelievable songs and lyrics, because she feels them, right? Exactly. But if you think about that, that's what life is. It's a heart song.
Or maybe Heart Song's your title.
No, maybe. See, everybody, I'm just letting it out there. Heart songs.
I think it's beautiful, and I think you have to figure out how to get because kids know how to use. You just have to start a whole Spotify thing.
Yeah, I just have to. Yeah, I have to have me. I'm out of the schools now, but I have ideas about everything. Like you said, our brains are just always going like this, but I can't do everything. I gotta hone in.
I know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So your next book is a children's book about music.
That's what I have to be on the children and then the adults.
Kate has, has, oh my God, brain. Would you please work? What is it with the extra heartbeat? I can't think of the proper.
Yeah, a murmur.
Murmur. Thank you. I could not think of the proper word.
That's okay.
So, hers is actually, she has a band across her heart. Like there's an extra little thing, and the doctor's like, you have a musical heart.
Oh.
So, have a little curly-haired girl in your book.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Denise is a curly-haired girl, believe it or not, although I don't show my curls that much anymore.
All right, so we're almost at Denise. So thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about your chapter, Let It Be. But so everybody can go on to magnificently-made.net. There's 33 chapters by 33 different women. Look at it all. You're going to be
amazed.
You're going to be, totally amazed. You can purchase from individuals. You can go to Denise if you like her story and go underneath, or you can just go to the bottom link where it just goes to all of us. But Denise, tell everybody where they can go for moments.
Okay. So you see my name, DeniseCesare.com has my wonderful book there. There's a whole bundle with a journal and bookmark if you want. If not, you just want the book by itself, you could do that as well. But go on my website so you can see all the great things that are happening and the story behind moments.
All right, DeniseCesare.com, and on social media, she's under Denise Cesare and she's under T-Suit too. So go follow this amazing entrepreneur author with an amazing heart. And it's the butterfly over your ears. It's like
yours. It's like antennas. And there's one here, there's there.
I feel like you have like a little bow on, and it's cute.
That's so funny. And Magnificently Made is over here. And you see who I have above it. That's my son, because he's magnificently made. And then Woman's Emotion over here. And she believed she could, so she did. And here we go.
I like it. I like the power in your space. So everybody have a great one. Have a great night. Tracy Hall is on next week. We're going to talk about her chapter next Monday at 7:11 p.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So thank you, everyone. And Denise, hang out a second and I'll say goodnight. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.